Africa. I come from the kingdom of Cape. Agep. Siyanamkela bonke, especially those who are coming from far afield as Abo Joburg and Pretoria, Namaskar, yes, Sithi siyajabula kakhulu ukuthi sizoba nani la, so that sizokhona ukushare this information enkulu kangaka. This is a very rare information. You can't get it anywhere. Ever since our colonization, we've been reeling in this kule system le, that's the system. It's a mess up in the system. So I think all of us who has made it a point to be available in this occasion today. Sonke sipushwa into eyi-one yokuthi sifuna ukuthi we should rid ourselves of this horrible system. So ngijabula kakhulu ukuthi umkhulu naye wasithupha wa sacrifice izinto zakhe bekufuneka ngabe uzenzile today to come here enlighten ngale ndaba ezinkulu kangaka.
Chokoza. Ayitokazi ngaba ready for my announcement.
Asad. Asad. Mtusulusi. My name is Moira Dibakwani from the Kingdom of Kep. First, I would like to make you aware that I will be using different languages. Hokakana Tswana, Hokakana my broken Zulu, and everything in between. Raleboha, Maat, Raleboha, Lega Pizzo, ya Hahwe, Nko celebrate. Today is the second or the third week, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's the second week, yeah, the season, yeah, Asa Mutsusulus. Ikamor Kabilen in green and all the shades of green. Everything green. The principle of Asa to someone like me who's being reborn every day, every time I come to the great empire of Kemet, I learn every day. I know for sure, opportunity is an opportunity to lukisa more tame lukisa mo teng. Le mo bongakeng ke nako ya hore hlambulule. Mo go tle mo re senyehileng mo teng. Le ba ileng hore they are spiritually balanced. E le hore hantle ga batho asiso. Go tlhoka hlambulula le mo teng. There is a lot of initiatives ba ileng hore actually go bona ke issue ya hore no ba mathongo or sedimo or genetically ho tsamaile ho tsamaiwa ka tsela e sa siamang e tsamaisanang le tse re gotseng ka tsona tse di re lebaditseng. So ke encourage batho ma-Africa gore ka nako e ya motsusulusi a ko re boeleng mo the principle of breathing. First and foremost, can we breathe? Can we please breathe? Because 100% of the time we are hyperventilating and are aware. We need to breathe a lot. Jwale ka ha ise re phatlile ka 12 we have our calendar, which is the royal calendar. It is for sale, Kamo Market Mola. It is 200 rands. No, the book is 200 rands. The calendar is 100 rands. Encourage or anything else. If it's the first time, please buy the calendar. Please buy the book. And our social media, which is info@gigmovement.org. If you want to information, that's where you should send. And we also have different merchandise besides the calendar and the book. We have Ama products. We are honored. She's a Baba Mbaron. I'm seeing her for the first time physically, but I've been following the page, and it is her and Djibouti, Taboma Malisa. They are the ones that actually brought me here without them knowing. I've been following them for years. So Ugogo Kanyezi has products there. It's capsules, different capsules. Some turmeric, ginger, cinnamon, garlic. It's a variety, but yes, it is the blue lotus. By the way, the lotus flower is ke rata hore encouraging intake ya lotus. A lot of healers balora lotus flower, but they don't understand what it is. Lotus flower is so Gogo Nkanyezi has made tea from that. It's very important. The hibiscus tea, some different products, some toothpaste, some soaps. We also have merchandise from Umkhulu Jehuti Tabo, anks and crystals. I'll say it again, crystals. Dibo Kogwa Tata. Haholo. I think I did the painter, crystal overhead. Crystal. The anki, the tengmona, the herbs, it's a mamfiso, the raprapo, the cancer bush, the reishi. I would like to look at reishi. Yeah, interesting. The gogo dudu, unalis her products, muesli, jungle oats, biscuits, and so on. The gogo mirella, the fresh chili, which is very nice. And seasonal candles, like this season, by the way, jwale ka color na ile green, we also use green candle. Now, seasonal candles are available. This leafy, it's in pixie, sabati. Yeah, sabati, has 20 cancer. Liketla heru, got coconut dye. Le ampu, le anona le high dependence and so on. Le jabulani, le kepe, banana the leather bags and belts. And the rest of the ibon namola, what is there? Ralevo have a high.
Oh, the Mkhulu Jongan.
Eh.
Yeah, night and
Eh. Mkhulu Jongan. Yeah, that's the last one. I carry a number of the Mabitsu. Se re senya hile ka leboga monyetla go na le jwala jwa Sotho ba boetse ka ditwa mo re kopare le boneng re se ra celebrate ngwaga mo tshara leboga maat asa tokozana. One last announcement. From next week, as God when go Soweto, we go on meditation sessions before Mphato. Gap. Can nugget the meditations. That's part of my specialty as Nyaka. Please come early so we can meditate. Because we are busy saying meditate, but I really want to meditate. I want to meditate.
songenala sishongekale thina songenala noma kunzima baphansi thina songenala noma kunzima baphansi thina songenala sishongekale thina songenala alemdwembe esakinayo yakonkoti yo yakonkoti sikushwaye alemdwembe esakinayo yakonkoti yo yakonkoti Hand of God. 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 I'm with thee. 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 Anum kubulwan. Anum kubulwan. Anum kubulwan. Anum kubulwan. Anum kubulwan. Anum kubulwan. Antu. 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 Aneptet. 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 Ama at. Ama at. Ama at. Ama at. Anumzam. 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 Azinzis. 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 Alole. 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 Anum tutun. Anum tutun. Anum tutun. Anum tutun. Credomur. 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 Vusamazu. 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 Imhotep. 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 I-on mine. Thokozani Makhe. Siyabonga kakhulu ukuthi sibe la namhlanje. Iphupho vele lize la fezeka. Lifezwa Makhe. Thokoza siyabonga. Ngoba siyazi ukuthi kunzima ukuthi abantu bafinyelele la sikhona. Manje lama interaction nabantu eindaweni zabo is very important. Ukuthi silokho sihambela from la we are hoping sizoya somewhere. Ngoba sina sineyinkathi ezi4 ezisemqoka kithi. Yile ka September sibuya kuyo esikuyo manje. Bokumele ngabe ngiqale ngathi unyaka omusha ma-Afrika. Silimo sentsha ma-Afrika. Ngesilungu-ke Happy New Year. Thokozani. Siye saya-ke enzalo last week. And enzalo we had several challenges. Kepha kunamaqhawe namaqhawekazi abuya la eKhutsong who were present with us. So masi huba le hubo elithi noma kunzima kepha thina siyangena la. Ihubo esaluhuba enzalo. Uhulumeni namaphoyisa besivimba ukuthi singene siyophahla. Kepha ke sahuba le hubo samemeza wonke amadlozi obabcredo ozinziswa omamuwini bonke amadlozi aseAfrika sabacela ukuthi baphakame ngoba sisempini yomoya. How can our own government prevent us from connecting with our ancestors? Inkingi lapho ukuthi sibuswa abantu who are hybrids. They are both Western and African. Ngeke uthole lento eIsrael or le Saudi Arabia. Ama leaders akhona nama leaders ase-Israel ba right bamile baqondile baphusha usiko lwabo. Kepha eAfrika yonke irulwa ama hybrid. Uke wezwa ukuthi kune president or somebody from the continent othe before ayothatha isitulo noma ke kuyisitulo vele sobudlwembe wahamba lo muntu wayothwasa qaba. Nike nayizwa leyo. Why leyo nto leyo ingasinjwayelo? It means ukuthi our leaders haven't decolonized. And you can't lead a black nation when you are still colonized like us. You can't be a hybrid if you are an African leader. Otherwise you are an enemy to us. Batheme besivimba lapha abantu ababathumele bathunyole amabhunu aseKapsehop. Amabhunu aseKapsehop athi asisayifuni le nhlangano yabantu abamnyama because le nhlangano is uniting black people outside politics and religion. So therefore we are seeing it growing every year. And ukukhula kwabo, it means ukuthi they are going to take over. Vele iKapsehop we are there to take it over. Let them know kusemanje ukuthi futhi sizoshintsha nale gama leKapsehop silibike Credo Mutwa village. And they must be ready for that. Because sahlukumezeka kakhulu. I've never seen an abuse and a violation of the Jewish people or the Arab people when they go to their sacred sites. Now we are requested to pay for us to go to our sacred sites. Why? Because Umlungu has captured our sacred site, Waibiza in nature reserve. Despite ukuthi lapha, there is a cultural heritage for African people that is over 70,000 years. Ubekuphi Umlungu lapha? Umlungu wasn't even a thought. Or Kokobeti when they were constructing the oldest stone calendar in the world, lapha enzalo yelanga. So inzalo yelanga indawo la okumele siyilwele. Zifo inzalo yelanga le Mpumalanga, then kune lenduza le Limpopo. Bayibizani even this annoying and repulsive name, Ukruger National Park. iKruger National Park izoshintshwa nini? Angeke izishintshwe because abelungu bayadla ngale gama. They are marketing indawo yethu because kunamakhosi akhalayo currently balwisa government because the government is delaying to hand over indawo yamakhosi emakhosini. Why? Because sihamba ngani ngale scam that is called the Republic of South Africa. A scam that has balkanized all our land. Bawafaka under this company, and this company is listed in the stock market in New York. These are our leaders, doing this thing to us. So manje tina kubo lokho buhlungu sa manager ukuthi sibe haboheru. We went above low vibration yamaphoyisa nama politicians who were trying to block us. Sandiza saya phezulu sa maintain a high vibrational frequency. That is why we're able to go in there. And the 40, we're not giving up. Amaphoyisa no hulumene babonile ukuthi when people are united, everything is possible. They knew, they were clear ukuthi they were not going to stop us. And then after we had made a resolve, you can't go back home, Cecilia. Sibalile vele ukuthi asindawo. Ukuphahla, siyaphahla la. Normally thini ngemithetho yabelungu asinandaba nalokho thina. Thina sazi ukuthi indawo yethu le. Ukuthi umlungu uregister under nature reserve, it's another thing. Thokozani makhaya. Amvutheleni. 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 Amtuseleni. 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 Asa. Asa. Sibonga yena makhaya ngoba uasa abantu abanengi bazoba confused. But ngiyazi iningi labantu abala they follow iGK. Mawubiza uasa kuba ne response ukuthi manje thina singamaluminati. Mesiloko sithi heru, sithi heteru, sithi maat. Bathi ke abodaki who had forgotten iscience yabo. But labantu laba yilaba vele aba prophesize eBhayibhelini ukuthi einsukwini zokugcina kuyovela abantu bakhuluma lenkulumo. Bathi singamaluminati ama-Freemasons. Asikho lapho makhahla thina siphethe iscience. Mesithi asa, we are talking about the hydrogen. Remember ukuthi when the sun is away from the southern hemisphere, mhlambe siqale la enkulumo. Umhlaba uhlukane kabili. There's the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. So ever since we were colonized, siloko sihamba ngecalendar yase northern hemisphere. It means ukuthi we've been misaligned for all these years. Uthi why Africa is so? Trump uyibizani dump what? Trump utheni bani? Yakhumbula sithuka. It means ukuthi abelungu ba-aware ukuthi thina asina value because siyalandela. We follow and we're not supposed to be following. We are parents of white people. We're supposed to lead in knowledge. Now, if you don't have knowledge, you will always be behind white people. Manje ukuze sibuyise isidima nesithunzi bathini ngesotho serithi sa Africa, we need to go back to our tried and tested governing system, ubukhosi. That's the only thing that will give us that respect back. Lento ukuthi siloko iAfrica igavunwa umthetho ende abafihli bayatshela ukuthi sibuswa yi-Roman Dutch law. And this is Africa. Africa that produced the first constitution in the world. Wonke ama-leaders ase-Africa ignore that. It's as if, Africa vele bakholelwa ukuthi it is a dark continent. It's not a dark continent. Africa gave the whole world a civilization. And the civilization didn't start lay Arabia, Israel, or Egypt. Iqale la, South Africa. South Africa hosts the oldest mountains in the world. The first mountains to cool after the volcanic eruption. Makuthiwa siyenzalo yelanga. It's not because of a geographical position, but it is a scientific fact. Ukuthi ilanga lazalwa la bebesilwisa khona. Manje, if you don't possess, that information, and the information that is not easily available to the general, majority of, black people. So now, when we talk about UASA, sikhuluma ngokubuya hydrogen back to the southern hemisphere. Because ilanga, when it's on the northern hemisphere, there's less hydrogen. So that's why ubona after March kuqala everything iba dry, kuqala grayness, meaning ukuthi the nurturing energy of the sun ayisekho prevalent on our southern hemisphere. And I think I'm hoping ukuthi all of us are clear about the creator, who the creator is. Because mesihlukana lapho, we are still confused. Sibambe into yabelungu ukuthi, I know, kholelwa, just believe. Moya. They don't tell you about something that you can prove yourself. Remember, our ancestors were scientists. When they spoke about the sun being the creator of everything on earth, they were talking science. So the creator on earth is the sun, and everything revolves around the sun. Even the prevalence of hydrogen, it's all about the sun, because the sun burns carbon to produce hydrogen. So that is why the sun will never stop shining. As long as hydrogen is there, carbon is there, the sun will always be burning carbon to produce hydrogen. Manje ke uAsa siyesithi inkosi yamakhosi, because uAsa is the primary element of creation. Everything that is created. Abelungu baye bathi ku periodic table we have 100 and something elements. Kanti no, we only have one element, which is hydrogen, which is this Asa we are celebrating. Ukuthi Asa is back. Siphuma ku winter besigodol, but now sesithola imfudumalo from the sun, because the sun is now giving us hydrogen. You can see everything is greening. It means nature confirms this is the beginning of the year for the southern hemisphere. I let you hang first is gachame. Manjege, Messi bonga uAsa umvuseleli muthuseleli. That's why ubona yonke into it starts to green, because that renewal is happening. And that renewal is not only happening in the environment in terms of nature, but it happens to your body as well. Remember, your body is just a conglomerate of atoms, right? And the atoms which are recharged by the sun. So when the sun is getting closer, your atoms are being recharged. a lot of people are receiving new ideas. Naturally, unless we are misaligned. There are abantu that are aligned with my ideas. You know, they just come in because it is that time, you know, when everything is renewed. So Nati, our atomic structure is renewed. That is why we receive ideas. CSC Titina, Kemet, Great Empire of Kemet. We build our future during winter time. From the 21st of March, when everything physical stop, then beseke kukhuphuka umoya, meaning ukuthi you start constructing your future, whatever you want to see manifest in September ngoMarch. Uyakha kuphi? Ngomqondo. Because everything is about vibration, everything it is energy. So you use your mind to construct the future that you want. Remember, Guti, the mind is electrical. Then it has to link with the heart, which is magnetic. So without, okay, the picture can be there. Okay, I want this because I want this babies and Vrupa. If you are 6 or whatever. We are born like Conway. But without you evoking the necessary emotion to link up with that, it will never manifest. So that's why it is the moon and the sun. They go together, which forms the electromagnetic field, which is a torus field around our bodies. So whatever your emotions are, you know, people that are astute in terms of looking at, you know, the etheric layer of your body can tell when you are depressed, can tell when you are happy, because it's reflected on that electromagnetic field which is around you. So manje is kati that the electromagnetic field has been recharged, because it charged yini ilang nenyang. Do you understand? So a communication in our lives. So therefore it's important ukuthi you must be aligned. Don't make your future plans but after the 31st. Uzibati, no. After 31st of December, wonke umuntu new resolution. Aibo, you've missed the mark. You're supposed to start now in September. So that even those that want to launch things are launched now. Whatever you are doing, if we launch a man, it's going to be supported by the natural flow of the energy of the southern hemisphere. By December, you'll find that it's matured, because that is the month of maturity. Meaning everything has grown. You know, the grass has grown, the pathways are no longer visible. That is why Nases Gojwe, when ziwa umkosi lo kuthiwa incwala ngoDisemba eSwazini naKwaZulu, meaning ukuthi uDisemba inyanga yamakhosi, because the energy that has been born or renewed in September, it gets matured in December. So that energy, yiyo yamakhosi aziqinisa ngayo. Mebenza isiko lwabo neritual yabo. Lento kwenza ukuthi mawuhlangana ubuka inkosi, kube nento nje oyekutatazelisayo. It's because sebekhabule lo moya kamveli nqangi. So manje, going back to our calendar is the most important thing, because it is the duty of a government to align their people, you know, to the natural flow of the energy where they are. So manje nakho-ke unfortunate ukuthi i-Africa yonke ibuswa ngale ndlela ebuswa yiyo. Akekho, not even one president on the continent has ever questioned the question of time. Because whoever, you know, set the time for you controls your mind. You are a slave to that person. Hey, we've been slaves of white people. They gave us a calendar that is wrong. Why nikukage Christmas? Huh? Nikuka nabelu, nipakamisa be amadlozi abelungu kahle kahle. Lento ye Easter and Christmas, it doesn't correlate with the energy of the southern hemisphere. So, consciousness has got to start there. Kahle kahle ngo December, thina mele ama-factory neitoro zivulwe full time. Because in the energy, emasimini omama bayasebenza because ilanga lisinikeze energy for us to work, not to sleep. Siyalala because sivale nama-factory because umlungu na uhamba ngekalenda yakhe yase-northern hemisphere. Uthi why abo Father Christmas bajuluka kangaka? Bafake ingubo zase-northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere ngo-December. It has nothing to do with us, leyo nto leyo. We're not supposed to be partaking in such ceremonies. Because those ceremonies, when we partake, that is when we are uplifting amadlozi abelungu so that they get more power. They use our energy to further perpetuate our enslavement in our own continent. So calendar, yazi noma ungayeka lento ye-government, but please align yourself. Uzobona nje progress in your life. Because this is what you know, magic is. What we call Kemet Heka, natural magic. Yenzeka when there's harmony. Huh? What is above and what is below, what is within and what is without. If there's a harmony there, then a magic happens. You can never experience the Heka if you are misaligned. And the only thing that can make you misaligned is calendar belu. So we need to go back. Remember, the calendar is the oldest calendar in the world. Older than the calendar of China, because they always told us, China, they devised the calendar. China, Kokobabo, by confess among scientifically, their ancestors are Africans. So it's Africans that went and established China. It is Africans that went and established India. So everything oitole India and China, Australia, everywhere in the world. And then you know that is important, where now you are a global citizen. For years, the whole world was occupied by black people. For years. Ulenduza Ivan van Sertima Uti, only 65,000 years ago, were appear abantu that are different from us. And before that, the whole world was black. If you go to China, Nama pyramids that were set up and constructed by African people from the continent. So Africa civilized the whole world. And Iskalo was calendar. Iskalo for our spirituality is the calendar. You cannot practice African spirituality if you are ignorant of the African calendar. Because you have to be in alignment all the time. Manje mokumele uyophahla uphathe idlozi or amadlozi alele uyabarasela because we are misaligned. Kanti mele ube ne timing, everything is timing. And remember what the calendar year has got 12 seasons, right? We call the 12 principles. Meaning Guti, you can't do into September, not June. Like you know, manje the month esuka kuyo ka August. Unhlaba ngesizulu. Isikhathi that is perfect for us ukuthi senze lo mkhosi wokukhuphula amadlozi. Meaning ukuthi your mother or your father or your uncle or whoever that has passed on and they say kudlula unyaka. You don't do that in December. You don't do that in March. You wait for August. Ngesikhathi sikaNuthi, because this is where isango lezulu liyavuleka for uNuthi to give birth to new souls that are going to manifest in physicality and welcomes those souls that have departed from here earth. We send them back where they came from. So timing is everything in the African sense. So calendar is very, very important, Marcus. There's more understand and aligner the calendar. Ungaphila without being dependent on anybody. Because all that is required is your vibrational frequency to match the frequency of the season. Then things happen. Manje ke thina ke ama-Afrika sisaphila nje imajority yethu. Into ebuhlungu ukuthi almost 97 or 98% of Africans are Christian. The whole continent. Manje niyawubona umsebenzi wenu nina youth to decolonize wonke lama Christians. Mbabuyisele ekhaya. And the only thing that is practical for us to unite abantu abamnyama, calendar. Hey, we've proven it enjalo. We're united singabantu abamnyama because injury to one is injury to all. When this unfortunate thing happened enjalo, the whole black African community in the whole world revolted. They registered, their disapproval of what government is doing, to us. So, Manjege, this is the first month of the African year. It means ukuthi uma uzalwe, according to the northern calendar, uzalwe ngoJune, you need to then look at the opposite sign. Ngikhule ngazi ukuthi mina Gemini, I'm not a Gemini. Musahmed, bengithi nguJehudi. And mengizibuka vela ngikhuluma njengoJehudi. Jehudi uyapepereza why because it's into yakhe communication. Manje ke thina singabalaphi osegment, Sagittarian. Singabalaphi, we possess that fire naturally. So mangifuna nje kahle kahle bengisasho nje ukuthi vele ngiyothenga ianke enkulu engizoyibamba kanje so that inikholwe ukuthi nguJesu. Nami ngiyofuna nami lempura abayifakayo ngaqe wonke ama-chain bese ngibamba nje lento nithathekile nonke. Do you understand? But manje lokho ngeke, there's no ma-art in that. Thina siqhutshwa uma-art in everything that we do. Thina sibawona abantu bemali. We don't see black people as a cash cows. It's a believer ukuthi the more siba conscious of who we are and the more of us decolonize the mind is the more all of us are going to be straight because we are wealthy. Akekho umuntu okumele ahlupheke la, especially la eSouth Africa. If our resources were managed properly, ngabe akekho umuntu ohluphekayo mesithi uyahlupheka ke uhlala eBryanston. Injalo mesithi uyahluphela umuntu useBryanston. Because eBryanston, you know, for us, wealth nje is so much. Every year, especially the mineral wealth, kuthiwa in South Africa is #1 in terms of exporting commodities. Abo gold, abo platinum, abo copper, uranium, yonke. South Africa is #1. And that runs into billions of dollars every year. Imali that is supposed to come to you. Who is exporting? Ubano exporter malahle ukuthi asibulawa load shedding. Umlumbi. Hey, siyabona lapha Richards Bay iline ingakanani every day. Kepha basitshela ukuthi no, iEscom isenkingeni. Unenkinga kanjani ukuthi kuthiwa the reserves zamalahle ezikhona la eSouth Africa, they go for about 300 years. We can mine lama resource and serve us for 300 years. Yet manje labantu have received $8.5 billion from Biden and told them to close these coal power stations. That's foolishness. Because you can't close what is working already without you having proven the alternative, it produces enough so that you don't have a deficit in terms of the supply. Manje ke yingakho ke Makhehla ukuthi the primary thing for umntomnyama unity. Unity outside politics and religion. Politics will never deliver. Siyabona sonke sibuya lapho. I was ANC, omunye EFF, omunye inkatha. We are so divided. It's like 94 izale umntwana uyisandla sile ikhanda lile inyawo zile. Then how are we going to defeat the elephant, which is Umlungu? Umlungu is strong. Abelungu are united against us. And they are working so hard so that they control these politicians ngemali, so that they protect the privilege yabo. So we need to move away from politics. Send a demand, of unity. One voice from African people. Why? Because sifuna into eyodwa. Sifuna umhlaba wethu back. We want our wealth that was taken nomhlaba. Mina ngeke ngasho ukuthi ekhaya, because Sebukosini we had almost 1 million cows when they took over our land. Now counter that amount to today's currency. How much is that? It means ukuthi emangwaneni akekho umuntu kumele ngabe uyalamba. Silanjiswe umlungu ngokusiphuca izinto zethu. So yingakho you cannot normalize a scam that is called the Republic of South Africa. The Republic of South Africa has to fall, because this is what is perpetuating our poverty. Not only the physical poverty, but the mental poverty. Ukuthi baloko bakufundisa ngo-Einstein. U-Einstein no Newton ingane kuwe. You know more. They learned from you, Laban. When you know Imhotep, you would understand ukuthi ingane leza. What they got from our ancestors, le Kemet, was a grade 1. Then they left Kemet. They thought they had taken everything. They had just learned grade 1. So now, Masingabantu, we need to reignite that pride of being an African. Not because we are trauma, but because you are a 9-ether being. Hey, you were constructed, from this divine substance they call it black matter. Umlungu noma ngazama kanjani can never ahlule spiritually. Yingakho bangafuni ukuthi si connect spiritually, because our power is spiritual, it's not physical. Hey. So now, ubuhlakani bethu, we need to liberate our sacred sides. So that is communicating namadlozi ethu. Sibike lapha. Thina siloko siyabika and siyabona izinto gradually ziyakhululeka. Phela the day sisenzalo, we have liberated Inzalo. We will never go through what we went through this year. Ever again. Which is why, I was saying, Guti, wonke umuntu beke lapha on that day, kumele sibahloniphe as liberators of our sacred side. Everybody that was there. And then nalabo abangakhonanga, who were sending messages of support. Ukuthi ngihlulwa imali, ngihlulwa transport. Kepha ngabe nginani lapho. That is the spirit esisifunayo singabantu abamnyama. Because that is the spirit ezosiliberator. Umlungu and politicians, remember. Politician, ayinamhlaba. That's the truth. Politicians and politics don't own land. The land belongs to us and our royal structures. So that is why they don't want us to connect spiritually. Because we are more powerful. They know which is game over. Hey, and I told them ukuthi labantu ba complaina ngenumber yethu ukuthi enzalo we're about 500, which is by under estimate. Kepha sibatshele ukuthi if 500 is nothing, we are preparing to host 1 million people there. Hey, because inzalo yelanga, it's our Mecca. Inzalo yelanga, it's our Mecca. This is where all African people, Ubabu Credo said, it is the most sacred space in the world. Inzalo yelanga. Hey, meaning what? It has to stop being looked at as a tourist destination. Yeah, it has to stop to develop the character of a nature reserve. And the Maubuga Lapa was saying last week, Labelunga are blocking us by using umthetho wabo, but in nature reserve. It's a national forest. You go to Nzalo, only paper trees are there. It means it's a plantation for Saapi and other paper companies. And they are using our government to protect them. Hey, the government is protecting private property. And the government is allowing our sacred site to conduct business. How do you conduct business eMecca ayikunquma mara ngeke ulibone. Even you, just a suggestion ukuthi you can have an idea ukuthi within the confines of their sacred site, when you conduct business, you are dead. Namajuda kunjalo. So Nati, we need to protect that place. Usapi and all paper companies must be chased away. Kumele kukhishwe zonke lezayihlala. Uzubona ukuthi how dangerous lezihlahla are. There's a scientific report, planting there because they emanate, they produce a certain chemical that affects these birds. And the government is saying nothing about that. They are bent on protecting private property. Into yomlungu in our sacred space. So a challenge esinayo manje is to unlock that so that the Labandu department must know ukuthi we are aware yangalento bayenzayo. Babribe abosabi, bathi thina siyorasela inyoni emesishaya isigubhu. And that's an African person ongazi ukuthi inyoni ukhozi olumaphiko leli likaHeru mesisenzalo sishaya isigubhu ulibona liza hovering there because they enjoy the frequency. So if you are ignorant of umoya uzoba ne judgment yabelungu. Ani urasela inyoni. How foolish is that? Ngoba remember ukuthi this sacred site we expect ukuthi kube nezilwane as the indigenous in that place. And remember ukuthi Tina, our totems are animals. It means ukuthi Tina, we've long harmonized with nature. So wherever we go, Tina, enye into engixakayo ngumlungu and with Clever Black is that isintu sithi utshani obulele buvuswa ngomlilo. Kunjalo manje mebethi thina siyomosha utshani lapha ngoSeptember siyisikhathi sokushisa so that kuvuka utshani obusha. Ignorance of the very same nature that they are trying to protect. Manje ke makhehla asilweni. Remember ukuthi power is not given, power is taken. Sesiqalile sikhathile inzalo mele size round from lapho siyale siyobahlukumeza le Kruger National Park, from a Kruger National Park siye Durban eBluff siyo liberate our sacred site eBluff from the army. The evilness of umlungu blew up a cave eBluff. La okhokho bethu bebe assemblisha khona on the 20 from the 21st to the 20 from the 20th to the 21st of June. Ngenjikalanga our ancestors used to do imiphatho lapha, but umlungu blew it up and nobody is accountable. Mawufika lapha eBluff uyabona ukuthi kuvaliwe. There's an artificial enclosure. Obona kahle ukuthi this was an entrance to a cave. Manje ke makhehla siloko sikhalela izinto ezingekho. Izinto esemqoka yizo lezo kumele silwele. Ngoba ngalamandla on these from these four cardinal points. South Africa yawa. Republic of South Africa nizothi angisho kancane it's going down. So Tina, we must be ready to actually take over. but kumele sikline ubukhosi bethu. I always say this. Ubukhosi bethu bungcolile. Most of amakhosi ahleli afakwa amabhuku. They deposed the real kings. I'm sure nala ikhona leyo nkinga efuna inkosi la. Uthola ukuthi inkosi la vele amdlwembe asazi. Bakhiphe the original family bamdeposa because he was resisting capture by the Afrikaner or the British. So we need to clean up that. So manje ke thina singabantu abamnyama, we are not going to wait for that process. We are going to liberate ourselves through structures such as the EGK as a transition. Ngoba ngithe mina, whoever is going to lead us into the future, thina senza umsebenzi wamakhosi angempela. Siyabandlalela. But manje ayikho inkosi okumele isibuse ignorant about the laws that govern the universe. Because sifuna umuntu ozosenza ukuthi we must always be in alignment. Always creating a resonance between izulu nomhlaba. So manje inkosi ignorant izothi senza umkhosi ngeChristmas. It's worse because sebefaka amabhayibheli esigodlweni. Hayi kuphela amabhayibheli, bafake nezithombe zikaJesu. Esigodlweni uzwa inkosi itshela wena. Jesu. How? Yazi umama nomndende waze wabuza ukuthi inkosi mayindodana yaseweseni iphi indoda? Wena uyinkosi uyibiza indodana yaseweseni kanjani? Uyinkosi, you are allowing umfokazana akubamba ikhanda akubusise ngegama likaJesu. Into efake engazange nje ibe khona. Manje ke inkinga ke yamakhosi ethu lapho. Maybe ngabuya babuye ekhaya and stop feeding us. Remember ukuthi iChristianity yangena vele ngamakhosi. Lapha eMgungundlovu eNatal. Isigodlo ngazi isigodlo sikadini isiZulu sikabani. Kunesiphaphane esikhulu. Usibona ule. And we esigodlweni lapha. Bathi uye owaforce icommunity yakhe ukuthi ingene kuChristianity because they were in alignment nabelungu already. Manje amakhosi, remember ukuthi amakhosi anecala la kithi. Not only did they promote Christianity, but they were involved in slavery. Icala lelo kumele basigeze before they continue anything. You can't be involved. Remember ukuthi icala lomoya alipheli. Noma sowunyawukile ndoda. Icala liyasala la egcekeni. Lisalela ingane ukuthi le ngane emele ilungise. So manje ke laba basasele who belong to those royal kingdoms that were involved in slavery kumele basigeze njengesizwe. Because our families, our families are in America. You are the Makos who decided to be imidlwembe because of greed. Umlungu umthembise isibhamu ne gunpowder. Then le nkosi ayikhombi lo mlungu isihlasela amanye amakhosi amnyama. That is the worst thing that a God have done. So, research yangempela kumele yenziwe and la makhosi must be forced ukuthi basigeze as a nation. Because asikwazi vele ukuthi sehlise iRepublic of South Africa si replace ngobudlwembe. Then lapho sobe siqondele emuva njengenkulu. Yingakho ke thina kumele sibambelele kulento esihlanganisayo outside politics and religion, so that when they are ready to sort out their mess, and I suspect basazobulala, because laba abafakwa amabhunu are not going to agree ukuthi behle. Manje kuzoba nempi, and leyo mpi asingeni thina. Tina, we are marching on to liberate ourselves spiritually, because its spiritual foundation yiyo esiyidingayo. We've been ruled by people who were driven by ego all this time. All they want to is to wear a 70,000, shoe, and a suit here 200,000. Babo pintanjana 15,000. That's all they want, the band love. Maybe you born as their master. The ego, they were driven by ego. I want a politician because they've disconnected themselves. They don't understand the natural law. You are grounding yourself to the magnetic field of Earth. Then the ilanga connects you with the electric field. Uba balance. Your atoms get balanced. Abelungu basifakela iraba, sonke sifake iraba. It means we are disconnected. Ingakho kumele mawusekhaya uhambe ngeenyawo. Unyathela umhlaba ungcola ngithi khona ishawa. Uzongena ushawe lapha. My legs my feet are going to be dirty. Let them be dirty. But absorbing the magnetic field of Earth. So manje i-reverse psychology le okumele siyipush. And sizoyipusha ngale calendar makhe. So wonke umuntu needs to learn and uzwane abantu basejingeni. It's almost 5-2. Ukuthi this fake government accepts the calendar yethu back. And when that happens, Nina are going to be required to go and teach the calendar. We can't manje silande imidlwembe from laba basithukayo manje. So kuyibo manje, but I know it. Why? Because Nina, you didn't learn, you didn't read. If future, calendar is of future, is of ulama tuba mamaneng. Abantu mele baye ezikolweni. Abantu need to go to community centers when this calendar is reintroduced, because it's nothing new. It's what we were using before belungu befika la. So we need to re-educate. So please ungahlali nje la esikolweni ukuthi awufundi and internalize i-calendar, so that noma bakuvusa ngo-3 ngo-4 uyazi ukuthi uzophendula. And if you don't possess this Kemetic knowledge system, you are going to be relevant in the future. People are going to want to hear about Imhotep, Amunhotep, Nefertari, Hatshepsut, Nzinga, all these great people. Ungabatsheli ngabo Einstein, ngabo Newton. We don't want to hear, lezo ingane kithi lezo. So manje, if you don't invest time to learn this African philosophy, usenkingeni. Because you really too good. The education system needs to be changed. The students are crying for a transformation. Now, what the rectors and the principals in these universities do, or how they respond, bapenda mabonda. Ibonda if you believe white balfage brown. But the transformation layer. Bese ke benzani bashintsha a white professor bam replace with a black professor. But the fruit is the same. And the labantu in these universities can never transform these universities or the schooling system. Why? Because they don't possess the content that is supposed to replace this white philosophy. So please, I'm just telling you now, Guti, prepare yourself. Whoever commands, this knowledge, will be expensive in the near future. Because people will be looking for people who will be teaching them this content. Tina say, I teach and you woman. If udlala ngesikhathi ungafundi, uzoba senkingeni. Ngoba uzobhadala somebody azonifundisa ngecalendar ubhadale nje, without amahloni 3,000 per person. Because the knowledge will be so much in demand, and there are very few people who can teach. So please, Makasha Fundani, we've recommended books that is supposed to give you foundational philosophy, because it is a complete transformation in philosophy. From Western philosophy, ungena gupi kubab credo, who's pushing African philosophy. That is why these black professors who are fashioned by white institutions were insulting Ubab Credo. Because Ubab Credo was pushing African philosophy. Now you have 6 degrees. People, you don't know Ubab Credo. I was in immortal. Change. Because you don't know any African philosophy. Like GK were proud ukuthi umntwana una 7. Hey, angakubonisa umlilo. Hey, ngecontent nje. Niyababona every Sunday benzana abantwana. They are growing every day, and those are going to be the teachers of old people. Old people are going to pay these children huge amounts of money for them to be taught. So in knowledge, Makasha, remember ukuthi Africa ruled the world, not with guns and bombs, but with knowledge. We civilized the whole world. Akekho umlungu ongathi yena bazi civilizile. If you are a scholar, you are something in the past, you had to have been taught by African people. Otherwise, you were nothing. Lento bayibiza ukuthi Western civilization ayikho. It's a scam. There's only African civilization. Khona manje bazoxhomela ngama Rolex. Kanti Rolex iqale eMpumalanga. Because i-calendar ngathi it's a macro of the micro, which is a watch. Without the calendar, there wouldn't be a watch, because the calendar is tracing the movement of the sun. What does the watch do? It traces the movement of the sun. So ungazwake sebekhalela ngazo zonke lama brand abo. Wena mele ubatshele ukuthi hayi uphilisa mina. I gave you that. I gave you that, foundation. This is how you must answer umlungu. There's nothing okumele ufundiswe umlungu except the artificial intelligence yabo. And abayifihli bakutshela ukuthi it's artificial intelligence. Now ujabule. Bakutshela iqiniso ukuthi this is not natural intelligence. Tina, we are masters of natural intelligence. Telepathy. Telepathy gives me the ability to communicate nomuntu oseJapan. Ngisemkhukhwini eOrlando. Telepathy ngikhulume naye angizwa ngiphendule sivumelane. Spiritual, I'm able to travel. Remember ukuthi inzalo, it's one of those vortexes. And inzalo is another gate. Izovuleka, iyasondela ukuvuleka. Yingakho kuba mnyama kanje. Because that opening is about to happen. Abelungu are fighting for that side. Meaning ukuthi you can teleport from lapenzalo. Ulapenzalo yazi ukuthi no. in 30 seconds ngise-Japan ngihlala i-meeting yami ngibuye nama-notes after the meeting. This is how our ancestors, we never needed a plane because we understood the laws that govern the universe. We knew there are these chakra points all over the world. And we knew about the North Pole and the South Pole. Ukuthi imigodi le okhona ukuthi ungene kuyo uzithole sekwenye indawo. Ubab Credo spoke about one of those somewhere like Africa. If bakhona abafundi incwadi kaBab Credo le hidden history of the continent. Uyayimention le ndawo. Ukuthi mawungene lapho uzothola ukuthi sowuseChina mawuphumela ngani. Uyayibona leyo. So our ancestors understood in nature. That is why city in knowledge GK, it is superior knowledge. There's no knowledge above it because it is based on nature. You can't go above nature. IGK ifundisa in knowledge in nature and nothing else. We are not talking about the philosophy of Mkulu. Mkulu has no philosophy but to follow from our ancestors. What made our ancestors great? To rule the world, because we once ruled the world. Sikhona isikhathi lapho sibusa khona wonke umhlaba. Abantu beza la eAfrica bonke bazofunda. If you go back to your history, bonke came to Africa to learn. Yini lebe beyifunda? Nature. Our initiation was about nature, understanding. You know, kunzima ukuthi uye ephehlweni. Mawufike ephehlweni, ufike lapho ufunde something else. Kanti ngabe i-education yasephehlweni, it starts with self-knowledge. Who am I at a spiritual level? What makes me tick? Once you understand that, then into also becomes easy. Ngoba awuphumi frustrated ephehlweni. Abanye baphuma bakwazi nokumixa nje. Simple thing umuthi. Ufika indumba igcwele imithi ke phakazi ukuthi athatheni ahlanganise nani. Do you understand? Iphehlo, initiation must be about you. Umoya wako, the spirit that you embody, the spirit that gives you the character. Mesik describe asithi yamazi lo muntu. Futhi mesik biza ukuthi uyiqhawe. Sithi uyiqhawe ngempela because of your actions. Kanti mesithi umdlwembe ngempela ngoba izenzo zakho ezemidlwembe. It means kuvuke le midlwembe yemimoya eyathengisa iAfrica le Egypt seyivuke la kabusha. Sibona ngani ngezenzo zakho. Manje ke makhehla ngiyacela nje into eyodwa. Asifundeni. Remember ukuthi Africa, there's no continent that matches us in terms of literature. Africa doesn't need any foreign, content to teach in our education system. We have everything. Why? Because we learn from nature. Nothing is above nature. So for us, ifana ne-education system yethu. Remember ukuthi the education system yabelungu yaqalwa abo Rockefeller during the industrial age. And their objective was to train a robot that is able just to take instructions and not question. He said it to Rockefeller, I don't want people that will question. I want people that will listen and implement. That is not the education system yet. I-education system yethu, it looks at the rough diamond inside you. Ukuthi mawuzalwa wena uzalwe ufumbatheni. That is what we nurture, so that it gives you that completeness. Mawumuntu. Education system yethu ithi wena mawuzazi you can live anywhere, because you can produce based on your talent. Talent lakho is never limited. You never find yourself stranded or lala ngendlala mawuphila ngetalent lakho. And abantu esikhathini esiningi babulawa yilento yokungaphili ngamatalent abo. Remember ukuthi mesithi talent sikhuluma ngomoya ongaphakathi kuwena. The energy that you embody is forever longing for self-expression. Manje wena by nature kumele ube umuntu olimayo, but because of isimo sempilo uzithola esibhedlela. Are you not dying kanjani? Because you are not giving full expression of who you are. Wena mele uhlale lapha emasimini and that's it. And you produce the best food, but you find yourself in a hospital. Thuka abantu lapha ama-patient. You are impatient. Umuntu uyagula nje, inhliziyo yakho incane. Awuna patience yakho. That is how you kill yourself slowly but surely. Kanti mawuphila ngetalent lakho, you look forward to the next day. Ukuthi okay fine isambulelo sizoyehla. Sitting creating. You create the best things and we buy them from you. You survive. You are independent. This is how we should live as African people. Ungabi slave somuntu. Okay, kusebenza kuyafuneka. So that uthole imali for a foundation for your own thing. Ungafeli lapha ufana nokhokho bethu. 60 years usebenzela icompany eyi-1. They're proud. Uzukhome base banginika newash. So please Makhetha, ukuze siphile a fulfilling life, look at the talent lakho and don't go any further. Look at the calendar. Look at the day when you were born. What is the day? What month is it? Because that's the energy that you embody. You then study the characteristic of that principle of that season. Mina njengoba ngu-segment, nami ngikhona ukuzithola manje. Ngiphila ngetalent lami mina, ngisebenzi angenzi whatever. Makumele ngilambe ngiyalamba. Until I create something that will bring money. I don't depend on any. That's why ngikhululekile. Akekho umuntu ongikhombela wathi wena awuyeke lento oyikhulumayo la. I'm going to pull the rug. Bavala itap yemali. Akekho umuntu ongangikhomba ngalokho. That is why and I live the happiest life. You know, because ngiyazi ukuthi ekugcineni I'm very wealthy. It's just a matter of time. And ukuthi ngibe iqhawe nje to be able to demand justice for myself and the rest of the black majority, because this is where we are going to be sorted, all of us. Injalo la ekhaya kuwe, remember ukuthi this is a gold town. How many of you are involved in gold? Why? Huh? No, Makhetha, million bulldozer. Ngiyabona la ilentuza yini sebeyithengisile gold yini gold fields bayithengisela iSpanye. Meleningi ngikani lapha. Nime emageyithini ukuthi hayi mina ngingaziniki islice la. Ayikubekho umuntu ongenayo la. Meleniyenze lento, those actions are very necessary. Anikwazi ukuba nje la elokishini abelungu bakhipha billions of billions are mined here every year, and you guys are not involved. Hayi simemeni sizoza. Simemeni senzeni ilanga simeme wonke umuntu omnyama siyodimanda la. Do you know ukuthi abo gold fields, they've got concessions that they will mine in 200 years. They need to release those concessions to you now. Many ngaya lapha asiyeni makhehle. Phela thina sinabantu be-action manje. Khuluma kakhulu haya sena ndaba nalokho. Sifuna i-action manje makuthiwa kuyanyiwa kunyiweni vele. Hey, sihambeni sodimanda lapha ukuthi hey madoda ngeke. Siyaphela la amajita abothoka utshwala. Why? Because abana ma opportunities. And now ama mines nje la. Let them release 1 or 2 mines for you guys. Hey, please Makash, sibizeni. Ningabi nekwababa manje. Umlungu uyatatazela already. Yisi isikhathi sokuthi sikhombise ubuqhawe manje and go and demand our things. We can no longer rely on politics to bring back our land. Remember ukuthi ama-politics, i-ANC ne-EFF, just the ANC ne-EFF, bane 2/3 majority to change everything. Why bangayenzi leyo? They don't do it because it doesn't fit the master. The master says the minute you do that, which is why the reason ukuthi every president when they are elected, they go to London first to go and report ukuthi I'm not going to change the constitution. All of them. Hey, mbobonke laba. Makungawini inkatha kuwini EFF. They will do the same thing nabo. So ningashi ngicabanga ukuthi into ye-ANC kuphela. Anybody who's in politics bows down to the British Empire, which is what we need to kill. Hey, balokho basitshela ama-slogans amnandi la. Hey, mina mengena, hey ngizoyenza lokho ngakwenze fuck all. Isula abantu abadala kuwe lento. Hey, why? Because they agreed. In 94 bokumele sikhahlele uQueen. Simkhombise sithi hey sakufuni la. And siyodiliza, there's a room kaQueen lapha. There's a Queen's chamber in Parliament in Cape Town. It's a fact. East South Africa is owned by the British Empire. Lokho nithi hayi ma British kanjani. They own you. And who gives them the right to own you? Politics. So ingakho le politics republic must fall so that kuvuka ubukhosi bethu. Van der Merwe uzongena kuphi esigodlweni sakamtshali? Uzongena kanjani? Ngoba sokubuza kule Van der Merwe ubani wena? Hayi manje into abangayifuni leyo. That's why ba demonize ubukhosi. Because la ebukhosini abanandlela yokungena. So what gives them a right to abuse ile politics that the ANC was supposed to destroy in 94, it didn't destroy. Yingakho sahlupheka namhlanje. Uzobethi hayi no siyazama. Every year bathi bayazama. Every year bathi bayazama. Huh? Uzamani because sifuna umhlaba wethu. Sizozenzela thina. Khona manje but they are turning us into a charity country. Baba announce manje ukuthi no ama 350 bewevaliwe but because niyakhala sewavula. Kusho ukuthi banikhomba. Maningasivotela nithole 350. Usizi lo muntu omnyama lo. So please makhahla ngicela ke njengoba sengihlehla ngibuyele emalwandle. Ngicela siyengejini. Ningi challenge vele. La nibona khona ukuthi ngiyaphela. sukuma uze ne-counter agreement ukuthi hayi no mina ngibona kanje counter argument ngibona kanje mina lento omkhulu kanjani because alikho elinye iqiniso for umuntu omnyama phuma kupolitiki uphume ku-religion and liberate yourself finish so ngiyahlehla-ke makhehla bakhona abanemibuzo umhlawumbe ama-comment they are welcome ukuthi siye-engageni from lapho siphuza umqombothi sishaya isigubhu thokozini
Itsho this time hare yako inzalo yala kuna le tlapa le le movile that stone ha le tle go affect the time ya cardinal point mo Mpumalanga and what is the way forward.
Thokoza Khehla umbuzo omuhle lo ngoba the evil intent yabelungu for them to remove the stone, the mother stone bayosibeka le ngasegate was to deactivate the site. But ubu stupid lobo because the stones only mark, right? Indawo yomoya. Meaning ukuthi whether the stones are there or not, lo moya usekhona above. So lo moya ulinde thina ukuthi siyilungise and reconstruct that site. But angeke umoya usize to manifest. Why? Because abelungu bathatha stone bayosibeka le. Yes, in terms of vibrational frequency will be affected because ukuhlala kwawo lamatshe asinikeza iadvantage ukuthi mesingena lapha automatically we get healed. So if a vibration has been disturbed, yes, affect, but hayi ukuthi ayikho because it comes from above. They cannot sabotage something that comes from Velengangi noNomkhubulwane. They can only sabotage izinto zenyama. And the thina sizozibuyisela back the way bezingakhona so that side is activated again. Mawuya lapha vele lento esikhuluma ngayo ukuthi you teleport there. Even those of us charge. It's not free.
Oh, okay, nami ngiyabona. Ithi ngicela ngokubonga. Ngibongelana namhlanje. Mkhulu your presence ukuthi ufike la kithi kuyisibusiso. To my community bengicela nje ukuthi asibeni nokuthembeka. And asikholweni ukuthi lento esihlangane ngayo namhlanje yilo siyophila ngayo ezindlini zethu. Ungabi nomona uthi wena uthola ulwazi then bese uyalona. Go and share the information oyitholile namhlanje. For us to win ngizwile ukuthi imbumba unity and umkhulu sinikile ukuthi asicontinueni manje asiyovalana. Angithi manje we are empowered. We know ukuthi ukuvala kwethu it doesn't come from greediness or stupidity.
Yes.
As they say, well, we are stupid. But let's go back to streets. Because now, what's the strategy? Is it about to Zash? So, as I was in, as a babum little. Pacience, your babam now. Let the pacience your shit.
Ukhona omunye onombuzo.
Dumela maholo. Mkhulu ne ke na le potso. Kutlwile afela ukuthi i-African calendar isifundisa ngama-character wethu individuals ukuthi i-personality yakho umuntu onjani yabo. So I have this question. I don't know to call it a question or maybe to add on what you've said. Ukuthi there's this knowledge ukuthi even our names, our letters or like they have a meaning, and that meaning is hidden in the numbers, you know, because the name, your name, like Libito Laon, they say that it carries a vibration, a certain vibration, you know, which it has to do with nama attributes as an individual, what kind of a person are you, you know. So I say, maybe if we can look at this thing of ama letters as well, and even sound, you know, because they say like sound is the basis for all matter, you know. Like everything, Italian is sound. Even when God created the world, you know, He spoke, you know, the word, you know. So, as that is what I was just trying to raise. Maybe these tools as well, because it's a knowledge exists, it's out there, you know, vibration as they talk about it, you know. Yeah, Langshala corner, the location, the address, my name, it says something about my destiny as well, you know. Yes, sir. Okay, that was just my question or my. Maybe I can get sharing.
Into sengicela nje silungise fast. Ileka God. Ngoba la Kemet Mount God already sesikubuka njengomunye umuntu. Siyesithi bengikhuluma earlier ngithi the creator that even science confirms the creator of everything is the sun and the moon. These are the two creators. So silapho wena Khehla, you know, mesingangena nje ku that vocabulary ukuthi eliminate everything as in a religion. I think we will decolonize faster. But into a vibrational, you know, frequency, hiyo kazi. Manje inkinga kuba ma parents. Sometimes unika umntwana igama lithi mshaya zafe. Uyabona wena Khehla. Because mhlambe ukwatela ubaba ukwatela umama bagcine basetha ngamagama wrong. But vibrational frequency yiyo. Kahle kahle thina we are created by vibrational frequency. We have the bodies that we have because of vibrational frequency. There is this thing that they call ngesilungu cymatics. Thina ngesintu sithi is it's capera, the process of becoming, right? So leo it means ukuthi according to vibrational frequency yako, you are given whatever you have. And all of us, we've got a unique vibrational frequency because of fingerprint. The fingerprint is linked to my vibrational frequency. You'll find that these prints here are the same nala kukakai, based on the vibrational frequency. And remember, ukuthi mawukhuluma nge-frequency, ukhuluma ngento semqondo, ngoba umphatho wethu, it's all about frequency. Messi pass. Ama clever blacks, when they say senzi mambo jambo, they don't know the power of frequency. Especially when what is here in the heart, it aligns with what is here. Then the mouth says it, it manifests. So, it's all about frequency. Normally, right? Right at the moment, let's say ikama. Bese kuthi lengane usibanibani. Sometimes because of my events that have happened, njengo Lendoza inkosi yaseSwaziland ibizwa ukuthi uMakhosetive, because when he was born there was an assembly of kings from other countries had assembled lapha eSwaziland. So uMakhosetive because of that. So igama ke liyahluka ke bese ke kuba nalento negative yabazali kuthi meke kwatela umama nikeza ingane igama elibi, noma umama kwatela ubaba nikeza ingane igama elibi. Mele sistop leyo ngoba umntwana uyambopha. Uma ubiza umntwana ngokuthi uyofele egqumeni wena yini leyo nto leyo. Manje asistopeni the negativity lakithi, because manje uyambopha umntwana ngalelo gama. Whatever, remember ukuthi into ekhishwe umama, it's like it's a blessing or a curse, you know, and yohlale nawe leyo nto ikulandela why. That's why they say sometimes ulandela igama lakho, yabona. If umpi yakhe sibona ngayo dalulwa. Manje isemqoka mina into engiyithanda kakhulu ile vibration guys. Yonke into vibrates, ingakho kuthiwa when you want to manifest something, evoke the emotion ozoyifila when you already possess that emotion. Here is okusondeza. Remember ukuthi thoughts are electrical, but without the magnetic ukuthi kudonsele, nothing happens. So always remember, you need to, what is here has to align with what is here for magic to happen. Thokoza siyabonga. Oh, now.
Siyabonga mkhulu Thokoza. Yazi nginemibuzo eminingi because these are very serious things to ask, yabo. So a question yami uthi like there's a lot of peers of ours abancane like who are going into not initiation school leyo kuba indoda, but leyo yokuba ingoma. So like bengifuna ukwazi ukuthi like what does it mean to us at this time, you know, why is it happening so much so often? Another thing ukuthi like in one of the books I was reading about Egyptology, into Egypt, it was that beguna like ama rules bekumele follow in order for you to even be to have access to the sacred information. So like there were actually 10 laws in particular, you know, and you had to be skilled in things like science, art, or because we are all different. Others are music, others are all of these things. Do we still find it? Because when I go into these books, I find like Egyptians actually came up with into geometry, trigonometry, algebra, and so on. Is that why is it not rooted right now in our cultures or in our African practices? That, you know, is ways is like they are also a part of the teachings. Yeah, because I do think that in order for us to evolve our plight, to have skills, either administrative skills, either, I don't know, like, because military skills, whatever, to protect the country and everything like that. And all of these things are quite essential for, and so I don't see it in a lot of these African practices as much. So I just needed to clarify. Thank you.
Seqale la ngokuthi ukusabalala kokuthwasa kwabantwana asifeshi
like what most people think. I see fashion, Umoya is preparing leaders of the future. Africa has to be led by spiritual people. You know, if future Africa dictates or demands that we are led by spiritual people. So ingane ziya prepare for that spiritual role. Then when it comes to what you were saying now about the arts, you know, and some of the fields, ikhuluma ngetalent, right? Italent lengcede ukukhuluma ngayo. For you to be able to register for a JSE course, mina ngubaba wakho, I should have observed you from the age of 5. Do you understand? Then again, then I take you program stock market, because this is where you'll be dealing with money most of the time. And then at that age, 5, so that by 12, 14, you are a master stockbroker. You are able to make millions. I observed usakula ukuthi uthanda imali wena. So injalo yilento yetalent lakho. Italent lakho as an engineer, you need to link it ne principle that governs the engineers in the Kemet, you know, science. You know, if when you are a communicator, you need to link the principle uchehudi, who understand the current. So inkinga esinayo wena Khehla, nami personally I went through the whole path. Remember ukuthi yonke le information okhuluma ngayo, astronomy, astrology, science, mathematics, iqale la eSouth. It was refined in the north. So yonke into oyithola eNorth it started here. So manje ke into eyenzeka ukuthi remember ukuthi it was from south to north. What confirms that it is the two artifacts. The oldest stone calendar in the world is here. Then the same thing, you find the same thing in northern Kemet, what you call Egypt. Exactly the same structures Tolala, but that one is younger than this one. Another artifact, it is the Libombo bone. A scientific artifact, Yabo Mama. Remember Guti, oh Mama, gave us a civilization. They were the first to use science. They checked Yongeland. The civil Mama, right? So, manje wena Khehla, wathola ukuthi sanyuka. All of us were assembled today in northern, Kemet. Remember ukuthi in northern Kemet was an assembly of all the greatest minds of the continent. We have only situation that happens in Joburg now. In Joburg hosts all people from the rest of the continent. They are here. In the past, they were in the north. But everybody from the continent now is here. And for a specific reason. Because liberation of Africa has to start here. The southern part of Kemet has to liberate the rest of the continent. Ingilosi or umoya, the energy of that liberation, or energy, Amanda, Africa. They say north, but it's now here. It's not by chance Uguti Africa, it focus here on the southern part. Because Lomoya, Obukosi is here. And the Agumelanga, Africa should be liberated to go back to a black republic. We don't want that. We want to go sibuyele ebukhosini sibuse indlovukazi namakhosi. because those are people who have the divine right to stand in front of us. So manje ke khehla ulwazi lonke okhuluma ngalo, the origins alo lwazi kula last corner manje. So ngiyithi for a long time siloko sicredita in Northern Kemet, kanti Northern Kemet yingane of the Southern Kemet. Abatwa, who are our parents, left with that knowledge here. They went and established the kingdom of Kush. Who knows the kingdom of Kush? Hey, because there wouldn't be in Northern Kemet what you call Egypt without Kush. These are the ancestors that left here. So manje ke khehla injalo. Umoya is preparing future leaders. Remember ukuthi Africa can never be ruled ngalendlela yabelungu. So mawukhuluma ngendlela yesintu, ukhuluma ngendlela yomoya. So our leaders are being prepared now. So kungaba ngathi fashion. Even though bayahlaza, bayahlaza. Hey izinto abazenzayo. Bayaloyana la kuma TV. Benza nje imihlolo. Yinto nje kumele siyiphahlele and ngiyazi ukuthi cycle izodlula. Mejlula ke thola ukuthi abantu manje sebeyahlaphukela la emakhaya. Sebenza izinto ezinengqondo. Hayi lo msangana abawenzayo. Thokoza ke. Thokoza.
Dumelang. Ke a leboga gore ke kry chance gore ke botse potso le. In the past, Mkhulu, I learned that actually the term religion is two words coined together, and then I'm not I don't remember what in language and specifically in A, but I do remember it was all about the reconnecting or retying to the source, to the creator. From time to time, ke thola lefoko la hore tloela religion, ga o gana le religion. Batho kaofela ba tshabana le religion, and then I took this term as actually almost a verb. Okay, you are actually reconnecting to the higher. If see knowledge came, we are actually as well retying or reconnecting to the source to give us this information, and so that we share. So to go by incorrect if ever this information is actually incorrect, or which is the better way to actually communicate this relearning? How do we remove it if ever? Correct.
Remember Guti, in the African sense, aliki kamaliti religion, right? Irreligion iqanjwe abantu with evil intention to socially control people in the world. When you remove people from nature, ubakhomba manje entweni yenyama. It's like what religion has done. They remove the importance of the sun, they replace the sun with a fake Jesus. That's a religion. Because now we are socially controlling people. When the majority of people look at white people, they look at Jesus as being the Son of God. Therefore, I need to respect a white person. That is social control, and that's religion. Spirituality frees you. Spirituality city, go and hug the tree, because there's an energy that will heal you. Go and plug wire lapa, 2 wires for you to harness electricity that is there in that tree. Do you understand? African spirituality iti iba nomsamo ekhaya gini, right? Ayiti hamba uyelentuza uyongena esontweni bese ngena sonto. Kepha thina umkhulo ke wethu wasesigodlweni, meaning ukuthi the royal house is the custodian of our culture and custom. So isonto lethu lelo inkosi, ngakho inkosi akumelanga kube nenkosi engathwasanga, because uma ungathwasanga you won't be able to understand the laws that govern the universe. So ilapho wena kahle. So the word religion mele ulikhiphe kahle kahle, everything ezengumlungu akuyibekele side and look at the original, the prototype yayo yonke lento. Remember ukuthi Kemet, it's about nature. Huh? You are a god yourself, because the spark of the creator is within you, and it sits la ku pineal gland yakho, the third eye. What is called the third eye? It is the connection between yourself and the creator, who is ilanga nenyanga. So this is what African spirituality teaches you, so that you are independent. Ungathi mawufeyila kusasa uthi umkhulu. Wena, you must make your own decision, you know, without you being influenced. African or Kemet spirituality only enhances your ability, because it makes you be in alignment all the time. Alignment means ukuthi I'm forever receiving njengoba Credo. That's all. That's why kuthiwa uBaba Credo was this creator. He was a scientist, he was an architect, he was everything, because of isambulelo siyehla waya, because he's aligned. Umoya wakhe nenyama yakhe nezinto azenzayo, there's alignment there. So this is what African spirituality teaches you. Not ukuthi manje mele ndidepende kumkhulu ngasho mina. Kuthi angena uJesu wena. Mina I'm here to assist you to unlock your potential, so that you are able ukuthi uyazi mawusho with pride ukuthi ngiyazazi. Hayi ukuthi wena uthanda amateka kanjani. At a very spiritual level, at an atomic level, when you have that self-knowledge, nothing is impossible for you. So, so in religion, it's about social control. Remember, Uti, the person that allowed the colonizer to come and maim us in our places is the Pope. When he gave the soldiers, they say Europe, ukuthi bahambe bayohlasela ezinye izizwe, especially izizwe ezingakhonzi the fake Jesus, they must kill them and take their land. It was the Pope. Social control. So we need to move away from religion completely. We have everything. We have astronomy, we have science, we have everything. Ayikho into shota ngayo. So khohlwa nje into omlungu. Thawa.
I'm from the kingdom of Sahmed. 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 I'm Lapigas. Thokoza mkhulu. Bengithanda ukuemphasiza kule ndaba ye-mining le obukhuluma ngayo earlier. We are in a mining town, but you can see it's not evident, you know. We are going a little run. Sebayidlile abelungu imali. Sayidla even now. And what's happening right now, Mkhulu, bengisemhlanganweni about 2 days ago about this mining. It seems like white people, like they are studying black people, as like they can feel umoya so feeling. So as a result, what they're doing now, they are bribing us with opportunities like funding, training, incubation. So alignment is very important, because if you are aligned, you realize that's bribery. That's a delay for a takeover, because in essence, as Fulugwa, part of, we want to take over what belongs to us. In essence, if we can take over these mines, poverty can be a thing of yesterday. So kungakho kumkhonga ukuthi sihlangane singabantu. And then the emphasis on alignment and knowing ourselves. Because if asizazi kahle, kulula ukuthi sikhohliswe ngabelungu. Because they will come up with this development, these opportunities, and then they will distract us from the main goal. So I just realized something like a week ago, and I felt like we make a move. The reason why a lion is the king of the jungle. Yet is not the fastest, is not the strongest. The reason is the king of the jungle is because of unity. They are not in pride.
I ngiyasithanda leso spirit ukuthi singakhohliswa ama-crumbs. Remember, this is what they did to leadership yethu. They offered them crumbs. You know, izinto eziwa from their tables. Bese ke baba labela as the leaders of black economy. Kanti imidlwembe that went in there to close opportunity for everybody else. Maso ufika kuleyo company bathi late, uSibanibani is our PE partner. So akumelanga siye ngaleyo attitude. Because bazonibribe ngokuthi izoba we need a boiler la, we need an engineer la, we need an engineer lapha, bese nani niyakhohliseka. Nithi hayi umlungu uyasithanda. Umlungu akanithandi fuck all. Ngoba if ngabe uyanithanda, yonke le community le ngabe nama shares kula mines la. Go for the whole thing. Hayi sifuna yonke into yethu ende bafutheke mebeqethe lapho. Thokosi.
Nkulu potsa ka ke le ke botsa nje go ba o shilo mkhulu ukuthi for a king ukuthi iyazume ithrone yayo you must ukuthi athwase first, which is true. Even the ancient Egyptian kings, they were both scientists, priests, and so on. So mkhulu umbuzo wami ukuthi lapha eKemet Empire mkhulu for one ukuthi akhule emoyeni to grow spiritually after you understand ukuthi ubani ukuthi manje your journey, your spiritual journey ukuthi ukhule emoyeni. You don't necessarily have to go through any like initiation to say just like ama ancient Kemetel bebakhuluma the tree of life. The tree of life le bonisa ukuthi as people we have two natures, you know. We have our lower nature and our higher nature. So the tree of life it used to help them to understand our weaknesses and then so they can rise, you see. So my question would be Kemet Empire, if I can understand astrological, who am I? And then I become aligned, and then I follow the cycle of nature. That on its own, will it help me with elevate onto my lower self, my lower nature, and then rise to my higher self?
When it comes to initiation, kumanje nje you have been initiated. Initiation, enlightenment, right? But now, Tina, si believer ukuthi umoya wako, when it has been, given that harmony, it will express. CSCT, ungathwasi, ungatholanga wena lelo phupho ukuthi kumele uthwasi. Don't rush, don't go there. Do you understand? Umoya wako mawuphakama. Mele ukhulume ukuthi wona ufunani, ukuthi wena wenzeni. Ungezwa ngenyanga oyisangoma ukuthi kumele uyothwasa. Mele bafike kuwe directly. Sometimes bakubonise ukuthi hayi wena awuthwasiswa ngale ndlela. kumele wenziwele ngale ndlela bafike kuwe directly yabona Khetha. So i-initiation lesi stressa kakhulu wena Khetha, kahle kahle lo lwazi lolu esilishare freely ulwazi that was taught in what was called the mystery schools in Kemet. Bongaltholi nje lo lwazi, and lo lwazi was not given to foreigners, meaning white people were not allowed to be initiated, because that is what brought the demise of black people. You gave the colonizer, the enemy, our secrets. Then the enemy knows how to hit us. Do you understand? So ulwazi lolu okwamanje lusabalela ngithi ngoba abantu kumele sibaqoqe. Yingakho thina our events we don't even charge, because vision yethu i-black unity. The more we are decolonized is the more sine power to change our destiny. Do you understand, Akela? So manje ke initiation, it comes in different ways. Tina esisho ukuthi make sure ukuthi through the calendar you are in alignment, not only physically but also emotionally and mentally. Be in alignment. Then umoya definitely uzokhuluma ukuthi wena uyini udingani. Njengami ephehlweni mengiyothwasa mengizo mengigajeka lapha kuthiwe wathi lo moya wehlayo uyinkosi uzolungisa ubukhosi base-Afrika. Azange bathi mina ngiyolapha iline isuke la iyojika le khoneni. I don't do that. So yingakho anginamona for anybody ngoba ngenza lento mina engithunywe yona. Angikophi komunye umuntu sengiba nenhliziyo embi. Why? Because mina la kimi akunamuntu ongenayo. So manje socabanga usathana ukumloya wayena baya kuye. So sonke sithwasela izinto ezihlukile. Asithwaselanga ukulapha sonke. Mhlawumbe wena uthwasele nje ukuthi abantu mebeyonza mining baphahlelwe uwe. Do you understand? So yingakho you need to understand yourself. So that you remember ukuthi sonke we've got a unique vibrational frequency. Unique. I-fingerprint yakho is unique, akekho umuntu omunye nayo. So therefore you are unique. Ungafuna ukufana with the rest. Just find your uniqueness. Ube yileyo nto. You'll be so much special like it, because uzobe ungafake. Uzobe wenza izinto genuinely and zisiphilise. Thokoza.
Oh, okay.
Ngiyabuya futhi. Ngicela ngibuza ngomncwabo. Umuntu make incwadi. Angithi as Africans there are certain rituals that we believe ukuthi we need to perform. Emakhaya naselokishini akufani. Ezilokishini amangcwaba ahlala egujiwe. So is it nayo leyo yokugubha amathumba njalo into e-wrong or e-right? Because emakhaya bagubha ingcwaba on the day yomngcwabo bavuka ntathakusa
kunjalo
bayongcwaba. Yeah, so bengifuna ukwazi ukuthi thina nje ukufa kuyini ukuthi sikubona kanjani?
Thokoza. Ithi siqale la ukufa. Ayikho into yokuthiwa uyafa. Awufi. Right? Remember ukuthi the science confirms you can't destroy energy. Right? Meaning ukuthi when my soul departs from my body, it continues to live. Yingakho sithi thina okhokho bethu they are alive. Bayaphila and bayasibona. Ngeke ngathi mina i-atom has got memory and consciousness. Right? We are made up of atoms. ilanga nenyanga ziproduce ama-atoms that create us. So we are forever alive outside of this body. Khona manje mawungavala umlomo ukhulume uzozizwa ngithi uyazizwa. Why? Because umoya wakho is independent of your vocal cords, is independent of this body. Umoya wako uyaphila outside of this structure. Do you understand again? So therefore ilapha sifi. Yingakho thina sikusaba ukufa. Actually we welcome, because ukufa you renew yourself. Ubuya manje sewungenye indlela. Ungibulale la uthi usaba ukuthi I imagine I remanifest into something else. Then again, when it comes to ukungcwaba, according to okhokho bethu, umngcwabo is supposed to also maintain a continuance of your life journey. Yingakho mesikungcwaba sikungcwaba ne hermetic yakho. Incwadi kaBaba Credo, incwadi ka-Ivan Fasatima, incwadi kaSpanba. Why? Because you are continuing the journey into the afterlife. Ukungcwaba for thina siye sithi kahle kahle besingenze amathuna besakumuzi kube ithuna lomuntu, ngoba mokufike isikhathi sokuthi simvakashele siyangena nokudla la sidle naye simphakele iplate lakhe ngoba uyaphila ngokukamoya. So nalawo esibabeke la emathuneni, remember ukuthi kune residue esele emathanjeni that is still connected to umoya wakho. Yingakho mawuxakekile uya lapha emathuneni uyophahla, ubuya ngakusasa isolution ikhona, because bakuzwile amathambo la lapha. Yingakho umuntu omnyama ulwela amathambo umuntu ukuthi hey mengangcwaba nje ithambo likambaba wami I'll be satisfied, because siyazi ukuthi there is still that residue ye-energy e-connector wena who now lives in the spirit, and you ithambo lakho is still there, meaning ukuthi mesiye emangcwabeni thina siyokhuluma nomoya wakho. Ithambo manje so ithambo, kepha umoya wakho is still connected there. So manje ukufa khehla kufa babe kahle kahle bongamelanga senza bo Avalon, ngoba mawenza i-Avalon you are creating i-farm yedumbu. Umuntu ungcwatshelwa egcekeni, asenamagceka ngithi. Yingakho ngithi ningangibuki njengomuntu omubi. The day ubukhosi bethu buvuka mele sifake amabhunu nabelungu la emalokishini ngesibhamu, siyoccupy lezi ndlu zabo, so that uyakhona ukuthi ube nejariti. Une section lapha ukuthi no kula singcwabela khona la ekhaya, hayi uvula bo Avalon. Bangaka okhokho bethu bathi the way nivula ngakhona ama-farm ey'thumbu nizofa ngobuningi. I-Avalon ayivalwanga, sesingcwabelana asingcwabele lenzi. Ilenzi ngeke igcwale nayo ngoba siqale ama-farm ey'thumbu. Yingakho ngithi please ningangiboni umuntu omubi. Umlungu kumele simfake esibhamu emalokishini. These camps today, lama camps abasifake ku, we must put them bahlale lapho for years so that they feel the pain esiyiphilayo. Who deserves to live in a concentration camp? Now I can't bury my own yard because umthetho uthi awukwazi ukufaka isidumbu lapha. mele ngiyekuphi efarm yeyidumbu. We call them a symmetry. Ngathi siphucukile. So uyothenga manje uyothenga incwaba for 80,000. This is what we do. Sithi hayi no simnandi. Siphethe civilization kanti regression. Mele nje silwela umhlaba wethu. Umhlaba futhi na is more than lento abelungu abakhuluma ngayo. Umhlaba is rooted and is linked to us. Ngezinye indlela abangazi-understand. So ukubuya komhlaba is primary. Ngoba sizophu la emalokishini. Amalokishi mele siwaflattenishe. Abuyele to be ama-farms that they were. Thina siphume la kula malokishi siyothola yonke ifamily must have enough land ukufaka isibaya. Ube nensimu. Ube nendawo enkulu yokufaka umuzi wakho lapho. Hayi le ukuthi bakusikele bakufikele basikani manje 4x4 yini 4x8 manje indlela yomlungu leyo. Yingakho ngivumelana noKhehla ukuthi manje isikhathi se-negotiation isiphelile. We must take what belongs to us. Ngenkani futhi. Ngalokhu uncenga uVan der Merwe. Meke vuka 2 years lapho sithi hey wena. From namhlanje akusasendawo yakho le. Ma ufuna ungena la bese ke bazokuthumela ngala ama politicians akulethela amaphoyisa. Ungawari. Amaphoyisa abantu abamnyama. They will understand what you are saying. Iphoyisa lapha enzalo elifike bokuyi-captain lisixosha. By the end of the day uthi kimi mkhulu ngathi ngakhumula le uniform ngijoin manje. So ungasaba amaphoyisa abantu bethu. But manje mele sithathe ngenkani. Singalokho sincenga unegotiator netsotsi. Itsotsi itshotshwe iVRC yakho la. Uhlangana naye endleleni. Hey muntu. Kisa kolo yakho wena. Ukutshela ngeconstitution. I'm protected by the constitution. Constitution yobutsotsi. IRepublic of South Africa ubutsotsi. Benza ubutsotsi baziprotecta ngeconstitution. IConstitution edefender ubutsotsi ababenze kithi. It is possession. That's when they registered that company. So manje umuntu omnyama une right to go and grab umhlaba wakho. Akunamlungu oze nomhlaba la. Bayawuthetha umhlaba. Baze nomhlaba la. Manje wasibayekela. Imajority yethu sila kulama concentration camp. Why are we comfortable to be in a concentration camp? Why Sumlung is living uzakhele izulu lakhe letropeni? Why are we comfortable with that? Mele siqale ukuresista. Sibangenele manje ngenkani. Mkhiphe lapha futhi ngathi mina abantu mele bayokhetha izindlu. Ngoba seyasondela leli. Yasondela lesikhathi. Mele ushaye around eJozi umakhe indlu yakho ukuthi yabona the day suka mina ngizobe ngila. Sithi sifika vele sikuthola lapho ukuthi hayi dlulani machita. Try next day.
Mkhulu, as much as we understand that we are Khutsong, so we are going to exactly opposite we spiritual as I can see
Lempi yemidlwembe ayiqali manje. Imidlwembe made us lose power. Remember ukuthi Kemet That was the epitome of our development. We were ruling the world from there. Umlungu wafika kuwe. Kodwa ngibethe 10 million pounds. Pound bokuyimalini ngalezo sikhathi. Ngibethe 10 million pounds. Ngizokunikeza ne-gunpowder. Asihlasele nangu uhlatshwana. Wayithatha nawe. Remember ukuthi before belungu bafika, Africa was ruled by what is called the Great Empire of Kemet. A combination or a union of different kingdoms that formed the Great Empire of Kemet. So umlungu afike emntwini oyedwa athi hey, for you to be able to gain more power, I will give you more power. Destroy the Great Empire of Kemet. Now uvume uthathe leyo mali and the gifts babakunikeza yona. Soqala ukubetray ezinye. That is how we lost power. That is why umlungu knows a black person ukuthi is easily bribed. Khona umlungu owasho lapha beke sebenza kule company ka yale evil ubani nomlungu Rhodes. Rhodes. One of the guys beke suke London with a suitcase full of dollars and pounds. And he would travel the whole continent, a bribe every president on the continent. Mind you, that is a generational curse that we need to deal with as African people. Singabi abantu bemali. Yini mali? Ink nephepha. You can't compare mali nomhlaba. Uyothongisa amanye amakhosi why wena because you are pursuing lento bathi yini konje. Bayibiza ndeni. Self lentuza. Bayibiza self-preservation kehla. This is what is happening now today. Uthi why these politicians balwa kanje? They are in the same political party, but they are controlled by different white people. That is why they backstab each other like that, because of his self-preservation. I need to have more. I need to be in power. And the more proximity closes between umlungu naye, they get happy. Manje, we need to heal ourselves from this generational curse. We are easily bought. That's why South Africa is like this. If in 94, they wouldn't have taken different positions. It's because of Imani. Utata watata ubani lowe Anglo. Who's this guy? Ubani lowe Anglo American. Oppenheimer. Bebe vale lutata la Mitren. African Development Bank. Bokuba nama secret meetings there. If you remember Utata when he came out, he said Bambuza Kuti, what is the first thing that you are going to do? What I'm going to nationalize. If you remember that interview. Utata we once Britain, na say America, came back, Leon Kulumo was gone. We could have been liberated in 1994 had we had people abangathengeki kalula. Ngabe manje umhlaba wethu ngabe sonke we are not living in these concentration camps. And the more ubuka ama politicians, who amongst the politicians who gives you hope ukuthi they are going to take you out of these concentration camps? None. Akekho ngisho no one. Because it's not in their thinking ukuthi it's abnormal. Silokho sihawukela amaJuda akhuluma nge-concentration camps yabo. Kepha thina we are living in a concentration camp. Worse than indawo labo kuphila khona amaJuda. And we are okay with it. Why? So ilapho guys. It's all about ukuthi sidile nale generational care sibhlungu lento ukuthi fana namakhosi. Amakhosi, most of them now, they are easily bought. Amakhosi emali. Awunankosi mawunenkosi emali. Inkosi ezocontrolwa anybody ofika lapha nemali. You have no king, but umdlwebe. And they sell out because uzokuthengisa lo muntu. Angithi that's how they sold us to slavery because of imali. What even upsets me ukuthi it became a business kula makhosi. Mali again, money. That's what they were pursuing. To a point ukuthi they didn't care if they were selling us to the evil people. So asithileni nale generational curse of being easily bribed. Then we will have leaders like Abo Bando Sankara, upright people. That's what we need because umcebo many for all of us. Our results that we have, no one person can finish them. They are enough for all of us. So when a mouse rwela, we are selling black people so that when you gain whatever materialism, it's wrong. Think about a collective of African people who are trapped in poverty currently. That's why bathola lapha bekonka bathenga ama-drink about 120,000 a night, man. Yileyo. Because manje umlungu ukunikeze i-character yakhe of being selfish. African people are never selfish. It's a character she adopted from white people. Umuntu omnyama bengakadlula bona ukuthi kune-family lapha, i-family kunabantwana bodwa. And uyazi ukuthi labantwana ngeke balale ngokudla. Umuntu omnyama will always go and pick those kids abafaka endlini yabo. Idlani la then hambe niyolala. Makufika ama-events athize, makuhlatshiwe ekhaya uvula igate, awunalento ukuthi you can't pay invitation. We don't know that thing, Tina. Mawuhlabile ekhaya, the more people come, the better. Manje soyabhajeta. Hayi wena sikwazi sikufakanga ku-invitation. So don't take a character yomlungu. We need to go back to the original state sake. Sinobuntu thina. Yingakho singakababulali labelungu. Kahle will be justified. Mesingangena nje one day siphethe ukucelemba sibaginqe bonke. Will be justified based on izinto abazenze kithi. But ubuntu bethu is not allowing us to do that. Yingakho sometimes ubuntu abuvalele ekhabetheni.
I come from the kingdom of Kemet. I'm Shab. Mkulu, this, I would say, for lack of a better expression, is settlement program that our government is unrolling to this location where basakela le ama-RDPs la bathi omunye phezu komunye. And when we look back at our history, indawo ezinjengabo Cape Flats. That is a recipe for, so ever since I came to learn about the African spirituality, I managed to know ukuthi umhlaba is very important to my connection. So Mkhulu, bengibuza ukuthi Mkhulu ukwenza ilento i-system ye-settlement efana naleya, what impact is this going to have elento kwi-generations ezizayo? Because mina mangibheka ngelento ngathis humble and naive I am ngibona ngathi ama-generation azayo in this settlement ngibona i-disaster lapha Mkhulu. So bengicela ukuthi uMkhulu akakasicacisele our actual connection with the earth.
Thokoza ke. Remember ukuthi concentration camp, it's not a place where human beings can be or be staying. Why? Because umqondo wakho, remember, when you are concentrated in one space, niba abnormal. Ubona njengami angisakhona ukuphahla ngoba mengiphahla ngihlukumeza umakhelwane because it's just a wall away from me. Do you understand? Meaning ukuthi nomcabango wethu, it's like you are confined, even your thinking is confined within this space. So akusindawo vele umuntu kumele ahlale khona. Umuntu udinga indawo. Mengila umakhelwane wami nangelapha. Do you understand? Molo mhlobo wami. Sibulisana kanjalo ule nami la. Do you understand? That is how humans are supposed to live. Ifana nani lento le yama flats nama lento yini. Ama townhouse. So kuyimanje manje. Uthola neBarres neNyuku but sesihlala kuma townhouse. Ufunani townhouse? Ngoba is still a glorified concentration camp. We are squeezed within a limited space. Mawune Nyuku uthola indawo, hamba uthola indawo, uthola iplaza. That is living. Hayi lento yama concentration camp manje uyasibona sinjani? Thina esikhulele la kulama concentration camps. Banjani abantu manje? If lento singayilungisi, i-youth that they are growing, abantwana abancane bazobe banjani? By the time they figure to our age, bazobe ba limited in terms of their thinking. Uyayibona leyo nto leyo. Why? Because it's abnormal. Ingakho sithi umhlaba thina. Umhlaba une connection that is so deep with us. And the spiritually as well. Ungezwa these fools abahamba baloko bakhohlisa abantu ukuthi there's no African spirituality. Kunabantu who are busy saying all that and nonsense. There's only spirituality. You can't compare me nomlungu. Mina spiritually I'm above umlungu. Yingakho ngithi there's African spirituality. Because abelungu kunama levels that they cannot reach. That I just reach like that. So manje mawuthi there's just a blanket spirituality. It means you are lowering my 9 ether so that it levels up nomlungu. I become a 6 ether being whilst being a 9 ether being. Kunelima la kuma social. Kunelima zeyilima mpela. Why? Because they think they want to be important ebantwini. Therefore they must spread lobudlwembe babo of wanting to coexist in abelungu. I cannot separate myself from umlungu. Ngiyafana nomlungu. It is their attitude. That's why they go on lying to black people. To save that thing, but you know, ingamla melanga ingizwe ngikhuluma kabi. Then you come and lie to us. We are one nomlungu kanjani. Mina ngilingana nomlungu amabhavu umlungu. Hey, umlungu will never be my equal. For the spiritual is worse. Lang figure khona spiritual umlungu can't. So yonke lemizwembe lengibonayo minengi. Ama-hybrids futhi bafuna ukubamba i-African bahambe ne-Christianity. That's why they are always compromising themselves. Oh no, there's nothing called African spirituality. Mdlwembe ndini.
Thokozani Makhetha. Thokozani Zindlovukazi. I want to say I'm art. The reason I'm embarking on my art, I want to believe. We need to normalize ourselves with the Lokhuza, the calendar here today, which is African. I want to believe we'll discuss summer art, my Janet. So, Asa. Umbusele. Yes, that is how we are going to learn. Asa. Ambusele. Asa. Ambusele. This is how we are going to learn. Mina nginguNuti mina. Umphetikazi uNuti. Mina, I'm not going to be long. Amakhekha neNdlovukazi bakhulumile mkhulu. They've raised most important aspects and facts nama-comment asakhayo. Ngijabulele nawe namhlanje. But now ngifuna ukugcila kakhulu kule ndawo le yeLokhuza yama-concentration camps that were created by this system. Mkhulu, have always been engaged in masikhuluma thina sisodwa. Sithi kumalokisi wonke these concentration camps. Mawungena kuwo wonke, if you really realize yini into yokuqala ohlangana nayo. It's a hostel, it's a bar. Ibar. Nesonto. When you come here, Khutsong, mawuzangale yandlela leya, bekuyibhara lapha, nali hostel, nali sonto wese. And if you go to each and every township, this is what you are going to go and come across. Now, Lotto Leo, these people, they did it deliberately so to Lokhuza to more further frustrate us. Ukuthi sikhohlwe ngezinto ukuthi sikhohlwe ngathi ukuthi sinabo bani singama Africa. Because bayazi ukuthi mawuphuma lapha ubaba ufuna emsebenzini uceda ukuthuka umntana omlungu angaka. Ukutshela ukuthi uyikafur okwesibili umtshela ukuthi ubiza utrain bus. Mawehla lapha eTexini uhlangana nani nebhara. Wenzani uthi ayithi ngiyokhipha stress lapha. Ungene ebhaleni. Mawufika laphana ufike ekhaya uzwenzani? Sagcwele le nto leyana uphuze lokhuze frustration leyo ohlangane nayo emsebenzini utshelweni nase hostel ufike ekhaya you are angry. Mawufika lapha the entire anger uyikhipela lo. So this system was well arranged. Ukuthi ikhona ukuthi idile ngathi singabantu abamnyama. So i-issue land, hence we are saying ukuthi ngifuna ukugcinelisa ukuthi is the most important thing yokuqala ekumele silwisane nayo. Hence the system that we are still living. Mina ngeke ngabuza umbuzo ngathi okay, we have taken over. We are the black government, but the problem is ukuthi the system is still the same. And so long as we have never changed, we don't change the system. Whoever is going to govern here, no matter kuze kuphume ANC kungeni EFF, makungachanganga system, we are going, nothing is going to change. Now the system, then it means what our major enemy here is the current system. As towards it, Makeza.
This is not the current system, it's the old system. Moba, remember, in 1974, the UN declared South Africa crime against humanity. EUN. But manje, in 94, we didn't destroy the system. It's like I'll blend a black. Hey, we painted the White House black. Sabega a black jockey. But it's say Ashlom Lu. So, this system has to change, guys. For us to have a better life, we have to change the system. So, ngiyavuma 100%, guys. Kancane. Kumele sidle. Kancane kumele sidle. And ngani ngomphahlo. Until bangasenamandla, then they give in. Kahle labantu bepolitiki ngabe behluzekile laba emakhanda. They would go to a parliament and surrender power back to the people. Kuhlalwe phansi, kubizwa amakhosikazi, the healers, everybody that is concerned. Kuthiwe, how do we move forward as a collective of black people without including umlungu ne-China ne-Kula yonke into? Hey, because I don't understand ukuthi bafunani bonke labantu eParliament. Can you go to Israel uthole umvenda lapho? Can you go to China uthole umntwana represented? But the minority has to be protected. Uprotectani itsotsi? Itsotsi mele ngabe uyivalele kudala yangena ejele. Then you took everything that they stole from you. So until the system changes, nothing will change. Yingakho iGK focus and objective is to conscientize abantu ukuthi we mobilize for the change of the system, not a jokey. Kipu Kacha ufa Cyril, Kipu Mandela ufa EFF. Yafana lento le. Nothing's going to change. Baloko basikhohlisa ngama slogans, makungena mina this is what will happen. Bonke basaba umlungu. All of them. They are afraid of umlungu. Why? Because basaba ukufa. They are ignorant ukuthi ukufa kukho. There's no death, man. You must go and demand justice for yourself. If you feel it not. Kapa labo basele bazo enjoy ukufa kwakho. How good you must die on your knees or bulawe high blood or sugar diabetes. I will.
Thokozani ukokona mkhulu. Nginombuzo omncane mkhulu. Angazi ngawubeka kanjani. But then ngingathanda ukuthi I should put it first in. I was taught uzemkhula. I was taught the Western ways and the Western way of doing life. Ngakhula. Ekhuleni kwami I researched because I was taught the Christian way of life. So in my research ngahlangana no credo muntu. So I once watched a documentary It was, I think, 7 years ago. Nyenga find out also his writings, including his documentaries. So it played a vital role in liberating me as an individual. So ngaphuma enkonzweni le ngifundiswe the way of churching, or the way of you as an African tapping into a spiritual realm. So umbuzo wami ukuthi how do we as Africans, how actually and when and why we meet, and sihlangana kanjani kahle kahle, kwenzekaleni ukuthi sihlangane, and isizathu sokuthi sihlangane bese beyini kahle kahle, because angifuni ukuthi mina personal, I don't want to be perceived as umuntu or a churchy person or a religious person, if I can put it in that context. So I want to reconstruct my life, but I don't know as to how and when and why at that point with as an African that can align me. So I would like a clarity on that. How do we align, and when and how do we meet as Africans? So that's my question.
How do we align? Calendar. There's no other alignment besides a calendar, because now aligning a calendar, we are always creating a resonance. It's all about that. And once you have that alignment, you then follow. Why? Because 4 times a year we go to these sacred sites, and Lama sacred sites are energy vortexes, meaning this is where we are going to deposit our cries or our thanksgiving. Ukuthi hey yazi umoya walesizini usincedile ukuthi kube njena nje. And ubukeke ialignment ihamba njani. Kunesizini engahambelani nawe. Uzobona nje whatever you do ayisebenzi. Kepha kube nesizini, everything you touch iyaphumelela. Do you understand? It's because of the energy. And enye into enza ukuthi singa achieve izinto. Ucela izinto zesama ngewinter. Uyayithola leyo misalignment leyo guys. So on a daily basis, Tina, we misalign. We align ourselves with the prevalent energy. Meaning ukuthi yonke into esiyenzayo. If njengoba kuyisikhathi se renewal manje, siyalonja. You won't find us launching anything more much. Why? Because it's not time for launching. Do you understand? Every season in a scatter. This is how you align. The calendar, because the calendar describes the amount of energy that is prevalent at a particular time. So you need to understand the characteristics that your energy, ukuthi le season esikuyo isinikezani, what gifts does it bring? What can we request that this season will give us? Do you understand? That is the first thing you align. And then mani khona ngapha sikhulume namakhehla ukuthi kuzameke ukuthi kube ne branch of some sort ngapha, so that there's a place where you guys, you don't learn on your own. The Kemet knowledge is difficult. Ngazingam is very difficult. It's easier many funda ninonke, especially moqa. You know, it's very easy to need discuss a chapter, because they say recommend The Magic of Ancient Egypt. That book contains the whole philosophy, and they internalize it, because that is the knowledge of the future. So ukuhlangana besides ukuthi nize esigodlweni nala ningahlangana, but 4 times make sure ukuthi you go to 1 or 2 of these cardinal points, because that is where la imimoya isuke ihlangane khona. Le mimoya thina esiphilisayo isuke ihlangane at that time. That is why we are there. So try ukuthi check ukuthi what is the next a ceremony, Limpopo. Limpopo represents the north. And this is when the sun and earth are at closest point. Meaning that the sun is pumping enough hydrogen for earth to sustain itself until this period again. That's why we go there, Limpopo. There's a reason why Siale a big field. March 21st. The sun is departing from the southern hemisphere. As the comforter, whilst ubaba ngekho usayemine uzobuya ngoSeptember.
Thokoza mkhulu. Mkhulu becela ukubuza la. Warusicacisela ngendaba ye connection. Ukhe wamention indaba yokuphahla ne connection nezikhathi zokuphahla. Ungathi nje ukusibriefa ukwazi ukhona ukuthi singaphahli kumele siphahle ngesikhathi esirongo njengoba usanda koyichaza nama directions wokuphahla. Ungathi kumele uface ngapha or uface ngapha. Ngifuna nje usicacisele lonto leyo ukhona ukwazi ukuthi siphahla kanjani. Thokoza.
Okay. Calendar futhi. Yonke le information is in the calendar. Siphahla kay 4 PD. Ekuseni ngo6 uyacela. Right? Until 12 noon. From 12 noon ukuya ku6 ntambama awusaceli uyabonga. Because ilanga seliluza amandla. Right? Then from low 6 wantambama until u6 hour lo abantu 12 abelungu is the 6th hour of the night. Is the most potent and strongest because the sun vis-a-vis earth it's at its lowest point, but at that time it's beginning to rise. So mawuphahla ngaleso sikhathi, by the time ilanga livela ekseni livela neindaba zakho. Lethola leyo. Enye into ke umphahlo ukhona lapha. Siyazama ukuthi siwenze ke iXhosa version sekhona kepha ilinde the Sotho version ukuthi be complete so that is print one time. Bangathi abantu bias. Because upon by banjani inhliziyo encane. How you're taking care of the Zulus and the Xhosas. So mele silinde launch le Sotho neXhosa same time so that is phume zonke so that you see calendar introduction it's in English because wonke umuntu sifuna izwi kepha umphahlo mawuphahla uphahli ngeEnglish uphahla ngolwimi lwakho because mawuphahla ngolwimi lwakho you are evoking the necessary vibrational frequency ukuthi okhokho bakho bakuzwe. Manje ke ingakho se encourage abantu ukuthi mawuphahla ungathi my God Jesus save me. Calendar inemphahlo, imphahlo inamahubo inelentuza umphahlo. Amahubo nomphahlo are described by the character of the principle olphahla. It's like uyayibongelela. Uzwa kanjani basakubongelela kahle. Hey, mawufike emakhaya uzwa insizwa ibongelela enye insizwa. Ubone lo nsizwa ukuthi ifila njani. It's the very same thing efila umoya. Umoya mawubongelela uyajabula. The atoms omoya ziyajabula. So ilapho ke so that ukhona ukuthi uphahle mawuloko uphahla uyuza lamagama lapha ku calendar. You are creating that vibrational frequency ezohlangana the principle of the system. And my phone. Kune meditation food nalapho. Esigodlweni senza nje because of isikhathi. Senze hubo nomphahla. Then sinikele ke ngomuzi. This is what we started recently. But sinikela ngomuzi bese siyamema, bese senza umphahlo, bese ke senza ihubo senza umphahlo. But most ekhaya go through the whole process. Angithi what? Meditate. Ube yile principle ledlozi because principle idlozi. Remember ukuthi kunedlozi nethongo. These are two different things. Idlozi is eternal energy. Ithongo ukhokho wami umkhulu wami whatever. Okay waba ne-earthly experience. Hlukile kunedlozi. Idlozi lento sithi ama-elements in the periodic table amadlozi lawo. And the idlozi linye u-asa. Hey, the others are just a repetition. Like helium, it's 3 portions of hydrogen. Carbon is 6 portions of hydrogen. Everything we want on the periodic table is a repetition of hydrogen. Helium is 2 portions of hydrogen. So, ilapho makela. Calendar, totally calendar, aligning nje calendar. That's all. And the noguti ube nabantu who are resonating at the very same frequency. In that way, now your atoms get excited. Kunokuthi uvalele uwedwa ufunda paragraph yangixaka lezo yabona. Ugcina frustrated ubeka incwadi phansi. Ifana nencwadi kaBabukredu ayinzima. Indaba my children ayinzima le ncwadi. Akekho umuntu okenge ngezwe ukuthi uza amanzi amancane angeke. Le uyayifunda ikusinde ubeke phansi. Umamele lento oyifundile ubuyele futhi. Hey, ngiyakutshela ukuthi uzoyifunda the whole day from one chapter to the last. Never. Unless you are just paging. Thokoza. Oh, okay, sure. Okay. Masipal, we only face east when the sun is returning from the northern hemisphere. And then we face east. But normally Masipal, we face in north because of the never setting stars of the north. They are always there. Even the magnetic field of Earth is that. So in north, it has that magnetic field. And the Nile is. That's why always Mesipat we face north. Then we only face west. Messiah Bigville, Silva because it's Katis Kanum Kubuluan, right? Senza ilenduza, umkosi islilo skanum Kubuluan. Then the Messi said bluff. She says south, but we face north. So in north is the dominant position from Pashawedu because of those. First is the magnetic field, and also the angithi nawe unayo lento le ama magnets la ku pineal gland yakho. And manje uma ufacea inorth yileyo resonance and alignment eyenzakalayo within your pineal gland and the magnets of that magnetic pole. So in north yiyo thokoza ke. Oh yeah, who raised a new point. Mesilan, Ikanda is facing south. Mauno Msamu make sure ukuthi umsamo wakho is in the north, so that mawuphahla uface north. Mawulala uface south, so that mawuvuka uface thokoza. Ungalala uface west. Iposition yabafike le.
Sina